Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, everyone. This is Nick from TONT Sports. Today we're going over the Minnesota Vikings salary review and off-season moves for 2022. Here's the man of the hour, Kevin O'Connell, the new head coach for the Minnesota Vikings from the LA Rams. What do we think here? 8-9 last year under Mike Zimmer. There's been a big issue between Zimmer and Cousins for now. I feel like it's been a while now. Zimmer kept on pushing blame on Cousins, maybe as a scapegoat, but it didn't work. The Minnesota Vikings cut ties with Mike Zimmer. They still have Cousins as of now. What do we think is going to happen? 8-9 this year. There's going to be a mock offseason, a mock draft, and a mock free agency. Unfortunately, the Vikings don't have a lot of money, so we're going to look at the money situation right now and see what we think we can do. So let's hop into it right away. Here we go. Here's your current situation. You're at negative $14.7 million in cap space. And here's who's currently under contract. Everybody in green, if you cut them, you would save money. The guys in red, if you cut them, you would lose money. There's really no reason to cut anybody or trade anybody in red because you will lose the money. Here's a good example. If you were to cut Eric Kendricks, you would save $7.6 million. If you were to cut Dalvin Tomlinson, you would lose $2.5 million. There's no reason to cut someone that goes against the cap. If you were to gain some cap space, maybe. But at negative $14.7 million, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is very, very small chance I see you guys cutting a lot of these guys. Here's a perfect example. If you were to cut Danielle Hunter, who's a really good player for you guys, you would be about positive $4 million. $4 million, you're lucky if you can get really a backup offensive guard at that price. Then let's say you cut Michael Pierce. Now you're at $10 million. $10 million, all right, you're bringing in an average receiver. Average receivers go for about $8 million, anywhere from $8 to $12 million. So again, you're bringing in one player. Is it worth cutting Hunter and Pierce to bring in one guy? Maybe you cut Hunter, Pierce, and Kendricks. All right, now you're up to about $17 million. All right, you can bring in one player, but you're losing three really good players. Now you could restructure some of these guys. That you can absolutely do. I'm not going to predict restructures. I'm going to be honest. I don't see that there's a reason to cut all these players just to get back to, positive. Positive $2 million does nothing. Positive $4 million does nothing. I don't feel like it's worth cutting three players just to get back into the positives and maybe sign one guy. So I keep it as is as of right now. But let me know who you guys would cut real fast. And let's hop into the next slide. The guys that are currently not under contract, the guys that are listed as notable losses. Here we are, our notable losses. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to the one and only guy that makes this slide possible. Again, without him, I truly don't know what we would do. I want to give a huge shout out to this guy, Noah, the PS5 Thompson. Without this guy, man, he is as valuable as a PS5 right now on the market. So valuable to this channel. He gets the expected contract. He gets a percent of snaps played. Noah, we want to thank you a lot. Let's hop into this. We got the first guy, linebacker Anthony Barr. His expected contract is a 2-year, $14.4 million contract, and he plays 64.9% of the snaps. The next guy is cornerback Patrick Peterson. His expected contract is a 1-year, $6 million deal, and he plays 73.3% of the snaps. Last but not least, free safety is Xavier Woods. His expected contract is a 2-year, $10.5 million deal, and he played 100% of the snaps. Now, typically, the rule of thumb is here is anybody that plays a high percent of the snaps and plays well under those high percent of snaps are the guys that you typically want to bring back. But your current cap situation is going to be very hard to bring anybody back, especially, well, let me know. I mean, do you make the cuts to bring these guys back? Again, $6 million, you have to cut two guys just to get here. This guy, $5.25 million right here to bring him in. You could cut Danielle Hunter, and you still got to find someone else to cut. And same thing here, Anthony Barr is $7.2 million deal. You got to figure people out to cut or restructure. Restructure is a lot more probably realistic. Again, if I sat and restructured everybody because I cover all 32 teams, it would take me 4.5 years to make these videos. So I'm not going to do that. Let's hop into the potential targets. Here are our potential targets. Now, real fast, you see up here, estimated cash is available, negative $14.7 million. Estimated cuts. I don't have you guys cutting nobody. To cut three guys to bring in one's ridiculous, in my opinion. Estimated signings, I also got no, negative $14.7 million. I just can't have you guys doing it. It's unrealistic. Here we go. We got team needs. So it's going to be really a mock draft here. We got wide receiver, interior offensive lineman, defense tackle, edge, linebacker, cornerback, safety. But here's what we get you guys doing. In the first round, we get you drafting cornerback Trent McDuffie. In the second round, we get you guys drafting Sean Ryan, the interior offensive lineman. And in the third round, we get you bringing in Boye Mafe, the edge rusher. Now, again, in the fourth round, we don't have you predicting anything because, again, fourth round, it's tough to predict who's going to be there. But this was our mock draft. This is who we got falling to you guys. So now let's look at your 2022, 2023 expected depth chart. Here you go. Here's your expected depth chart. So real fast, Guys in yellow or placeholders, Troy Dye. I was actually a big fan of Troy Dye. He's been not rating too well on PFF. But I was a fan of him coming out of college. Chad Surratt, not so much. He was a rookie last year, so I'm going to give him a break. That's why he's not listed as yellow. Young guys, rookies from last year, I'm going to give him the chance of not being listed as yellow and being a placeholder. But Troy Dye has been struggling, supposedly. I was a big fan of him during my scouting analysis. I thought he was going to be pretty good, to be honest with you. Maybe I was wrong. I don't watch the Vikings a lot, so you guys would know this more than I do. I do watch him a decent amount, though. But here's what we got you doing. We got you bringing in Trent McDuffie as a cornerback position here to fill in this need. We got you bringing edge rusher Boye Mafe to bring in as the other edge rusher opposite side of Danielle Hunter. That was two really good edge rushers. And then we got you bringing in Sean Ryan, too, at the right guard position to go along with Garrett Bradbury and Brian O'Neill. Look, overall, the offensive line is not bad. You wrote in Dorsal last year. I was not a huge fan of him. Bradbury, Ryan, and you got O'Neill. You got Irv Smith, who, is another pretty good tight end. Justin Jefferson has been a hell of a receiver alongside with Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne and Kirk Cousins have a pretty good connection. I'll tell you that much right now. Dalvin Cook is one of the best running backs in the league. You got two pretty good cornerbacks in Cameron Dantzler and Trent McDuffie. Hunter and Boye Mafe. Then you got, again, Eric Kendricks has been a lot of down. That's been a linebacker position for years, and Bynum and Harrison Smith. Let me know what you guys think. I honestly think if you were to make these moves, you don't have a lot of cap space. You're losing a few guys, honestly, in this free agency with Anthony Barr, Patrick Peterson, and Xavier Woods. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I see you guys winning around 7-8 games again, not really taking a step forward until you get the cap space figured out. It's really a rebuild over here in Minnesota, in my opinion. Start the rebuild now. Get it done with. That doesn't mean you got to get rid of Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen and just, no. You start building. You got a hell of a foundation with Cook, Cousins, Jefferson, Thielen, Irv Smith. Your offensive line's partially being rebuilt now if you do these moves. Dorsal and Ryan and Bradbury. You look at the defense. Hunter, Mafe. Maybe you move on from Hunter. $18 million cap hit. That's a lot of money you can spend elsewhere. Get a few young guys in. You got Troy Dye, who's young. You got Surratt, who's young. You got Eric Kendricks locked down the middle linebacker position. You got Smith and Bynum, Dantzler, and McDuffie. I personally think that this team has a solid foundation. You just got to, if you want to rebuild, hit the rebuild button and start doing it now. Not even a rebuild. It's really more of a retool at this point because you got the foundation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.